touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won.
Good morning, STEAM staff and scholars. Today, for Black History Month, we are celebrating the life and legacy of Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin was an American singer, songwriter, actress, pianist, and civil rights activist. Franklin began her career as a child singing gospel at the New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, where her father, C.L. Franklin, was a minister. At the age of 18, she embarked on a secular music career as a recording artist for Columbia Records. While Franklin's career did not immediately flourish, she found acclaim and commercial success after signing with Atlantic Records in 1966. Several of her hit songs include You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Chain of Fools, and I Say a Little Prayer. By the end of the 1960s, Aretha Franklin had become known as the Queen of Soul. Everyone have a great day of teaching and learning.
There is very little truth in the old refrain that one cannot legislate equality.
Thurgood Marshall was born on July 2, 1908, in Baltimore, Maryland. As a kid, one of his favorite pastimes was to argue local court cases with his brother and father. Marshall attended Baltimore's Colored High and Training School, later renamed Frederick Douglass High School. As a teenager, Marshall was also a troublemaker. His greatest high school accomplishment, memorizing the entire United States Constitution, was actually a teacher's punishment for misbehaving in class. After graduating from Lincoln with honors in 1930, Marshall applied to the University of Maryland Law School. Despite being overqualified academically, Marshall was rejected because of his race. Instead of attending University of Maryland, Marshall attended law school in Washington, D.C. at Howard University, another historical black school. Marshall graduated from Howard in 1933.
He briefly attempted to establish his own practice in Baltimore, but was out of experience. He failed to land any significant cases. In 1934, Marshall began working for the Baltimore branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. In 1936, Marshall moved to New York City to work full-time as a legal counsel for the NAACP. Over several decades, Marshall argued and won a variety of cases to strike down many forms of legalized racism, helping to inspire the American Civil Rights Movement. The greatest achievement of Marshall's career as a civil rights lawyer was his victory in the landmark 1954 Supreme Court case Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka. The class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of a group of black parents in Topeka. Children were forced to attend all black segregated schools. Through Brown v. Board, one of the most important cases in the 20th century, Marshall challenged racial segregation. On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that separate education is unequal. Brown v. Board provided the legal foundation for the American Civil Rights Movement. At the time, the case established Marshall as one of the most successful lawyers in America.
In 1967, President Johnson appointed him to the U.S. Supreme Court. Until his retirement from the court in 1991, Marshall continued to strive to protect the rights of all citizens. Thurgood Marshall died in 1993, leaving behind a legacy that earned him the nickname of Mr. Civil Rights.
Marshall stands alongside Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X as one of the greatest and most important figures of the American Civil Rights Movement. Marshall was arguably the most instrumental in the movement's achievements toward racial equality.